All right, shalom, shalom. This is Brother Mashaba coming back at you with another lesson. First, before I get into it, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Kakudash. Second thing I want to do is give double honors to all the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to all the brothers that are pushing the truth with both sincerity and with charity. All right, so what I was getting into, the title of this lesson is called Jiggafools. All right, and as you can see from the title, I'm going in on 2/3. All right, with this lesson. All right, in their folly and their wickedness. All right, and coming from the GMS Chicago branch, living out here in Chicago, this is one of the prime, cities that you see Jake folly, man. One of the prime cities. All right, in Babylon the Great, that you see the folly of Jake. All right, adultery, murder, blasphemy, sodomy. All right, which hold on. Let me this is Ecclesiastes 10. I'm starting at verse 5. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceedeth from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. So yeah, all right, folly is set in great dignity. All right, and right now it's the month of June, and Babylon the Great, so-called America, has labeled this month Pride Month. All right, to celebrate, all right, sodomites. Okay. And, Jake, of course, feeds into it, man. All right. There's, I was just at the gym today. All right. And, I seen I seen a couple, a sodomite men. All right. And it's just, vexed me, man. And then returning home, I seen a transgender man, a man trying to be a woman. All right, that is set in great dignity, man. Okay, stuff out here is wicked. It's out of order. Hold on. This is Psalm chapter 82. I'm gonna start at verse 4. Now I'm gonna start at verse 5. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. So yeah. So Jake is out of all the ways of this world are out of course. It's literally going the exact opposite way, the Lord said for it to be. Well, I mean, at least according to the laws, because of course, the Lord ordained the timeline of how the world is going right now, but it's in wickedness. All right, it's going totally against the laws that the Lord gave. All right, but he's given the time for these wicked nations to rule. All right, letting them stack up their sins. All right, but yeah, back on Jake, man. Adulterers, cold-blooded murderers, thieves, sodomites, folly, man. All right, everybody out here is trying to be, the next big, shooter, killer, rapper, literally. All right, it's literally they're cloning themselves. All right, these, YNs with these ski masks, and these tattoos on them at the age of, which is going off regardless, but like at the age of 14, whatever, and then they just, on top of that, they raised by only their mama, man. So, they got that, pure effeminate spirit, all right, and emotional instability because they was only raised by their mama, which is probably a whole demon too, okay? It's one thing is being raised by only your mama. Another thing on top of that is if the woman is just purely wicked too, okay? But yeah, man. And Jake is foolish. Foolish. All right. Hence the title, Jiggafools. That's why they like to do all that stuff. All right, and they get killed for it out on the streets, or Esau, give them years. All right, and then they get sodomized in prison or whatever, man. Can't see nothing of their families. All right, no more, because they wanted to have a switch on the back of their pistol. All right, but this is Proverbs chapter 10 and verse 23. It is as a sport to a fool to do mischief, but a man of understanding have wisdom. And it's a sport to these Jake to do folly. So what must they be? They must be fools. All right? Let me get this precept real quick. This is Jeremiah chapter 4 and verse 22. People is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, meaning stupid. And they have no understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. So yeah, man. All right, and now Esau only really just gotta, stand back and watch, because now Jake just doing it to themselves. That's how deep it runs now. That's how deep this folly culture runs now, man. To do folly, wickedness. Okay, that's how deep it runs. They love it. They love it. As I said, they get killed for it or locked up. All right. Or they go to prison, they get out, and now they can't find a good job anymore. All right. Or, just whatever, man. But they get judged for it, or are going to. Okay. And they scoff the Lord. All right. And just build up their sins, man. That's why they will be destroyed. This brings me to this precept. Hosea 4 and 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, since seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power. I will also forget thy children. So yeah, Jake, not only, they gonna get judged later on, but they getting judged now for what they're doing. Whether, as I said, either they get, gunned down or locked up. Okay? Destroyed for lack of knowledge, because they like to do folly. All right? And then they like to, not per se abide to Esau's rules, but, really still, do what Esau want them to do, which is push other Jake to do more folly. So they are abiding by Esau, man. All right, even if they don't know it, pushing all this violence and just sin amongst Jake communities and cultures. That's what Esau exactly wants. All right, as I said, Esau don't got to do nothing no more but just sit down and watch, because Jake doing it to themselves. Okay. Jake, 2/3, they like to listen to their gun. All right. Not the Lord. All right. Listen to Big Bro them. All right. Teaching them how to catch more bodies. All right. Teaching them how to be adulterers. Okay. This is Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add a sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked of my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the shadow of the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. So yeah, Jake, trust in this world all you want, because this world is getting destroyed. All right, so it can be renewed, but this world is getting that judgment. So watch what happens. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep being wicked, man. All right, keep being Esau's little, pet dog. All right, First Maccabees 1 and 11. In those days, when there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then some of the people were so forward hearing that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances, so like ordinances of the heathen. So yeah, Esau and Jake are really in cahoots, man. Especially these big time rappers, pushing that stuff. NBA YoungBoy, King Von, but he got judged, and just many other names, man. Especially these big time rappers are in cahoots with Esau, man, to push more violence in Jake communities, man. All right, just so Esau can give him that bag. He no better than the pastors in the church preaching false information. All right. I'm talking about the pastors in the church that they want to teach about a Christmas and all that, man. No, that's a pagan holiday. All right. This is Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. All right. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth the tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman, with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil. Neither also is it in them to do good. So yeah, and that's talking about Christmas right there. The scripture literally just described getting a tree and decorating it. It's an idol. Okay? Jake gonna pay. Alright, Jiggafools, man. Alright, y'all are gonna get judgment. Okay? Y'all 2/3, man. And as I, grew in the truth, I started to hate Jake as much as I hate these 2/3 as much as I hate Esau, man. And yeah, what Esau been doing to us is, just evil is to the, highest surpassing extent. But, Jake is up there, man. These 2/3 are up there. Okay? So, yeah, man, but that's all I wanted to get into with this lesson, man. So, Jake gotta repent, man. Alright, but I hope this lesson was edifying. So with that, I'm going to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, or Kakwadash. Second thing I want to do is give double honors to all the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to all you brothers that are pushing the truth with both sincerity and with charity. Shalom, Wa Kwame Asharallah, Wa Ababa Ball. Shalom, Makim. Stay faithful.